This video is for Robert McFarland. If you're not Robert McFarland, that's also cool because this is one of my inspiration videos where I acknowledge the people whose work has had an impact on my process and my life. And I take a moment to say thanks. McFarland is a writer from the UK whose books focus on landscape, nature, place, people, and language, and bring to the surface a reverence and understanding that is often overlooked in our urban-centric society. This bias hit hard when my partner and I began leaving the city virtually every weekend and exploring the countryside looking for a bit of land to call our own. We haphazardly happened upon this sign for the Slough of Despond, an area named by settlers after a passage in the Pilgrim's Progress. The property on the Slough was for sale, and after a long process and a purchase from the Queen, no less, we found our place. But the acquisition took us deep into history and beneath the land itself. From the road, it was just a field surrounded by some wetland. But to the people issuing our permits, it was an area of natural significance. And this meant that for us to have an educated conversation about the land, we had to educate ourselves on the land and what was below it, beside it, its past and its future. I read what I could about the area, about its deep history and how it was developed. It was even my first time in the archives at the library, where I learned the area was a shining example of a Baymouth bar. The Niagara Escarpment was part of a UNESCO World Biosphere. There was an extremely rare tree growing off the side of the cliff face, and it had exemplary sections of karst, one just meters from my front door. This was exciting to me, but what I would consider lonely knowledge, stuff you tell people on a hike as they barely listen to you. And then in 2019, this book came out, and suddenly what was below was not only given attention, but it was spoken about in poetic fashion. What was just below the surface rose to prominence. Robert sent me back to the library, and not only did I read all of his work, but also Nan Shepherd and The Peregrine and so many more. And my point is that sometimes as creative people with a rural address, people who love nature, sometimes all we need is for someone to see us and remind us that these things are important. Robert is more than a champion of the natural world. He helps others see the forest through the trees, and he elevates what's below to new heights. And he not only inspired me to take better care of the world around us and share that passion for doing so, he encouraged me to get up, get out, and get in it.